afternoon. My name is Yolanda Harper, and I am the Strategic Partnerships Manager for Blue Zones Project. And I am so excited to be here with you all today. I have to first say that I really do appreciate the ongoing relationship between the Fort Worth Chamber and Blue Zones Project, as well as Texas Health Resources. We will be taking questions today, so let me know that you're here. Let us know you're here. Engage with us. We have lots of good information to share with you over the next few minutes. And what we're going to talk about today is the role of appreciation and mental health with the employees. Now, it is true, and we all can agree that we all have been impacted by the pandemic. Our world and lives have all shifted, and we're all learning how to navigate within the confines of our current state. In the workplace, employee engagement has shifted as well. It's no different. Many of the engagement activities or in face-to-face meetings are now have been substituted, for logins for a virtual experience. Some companies have downsized. Some have implemented strategies, for a safe return to the workplace. And some companies have just made the decision to stay at home. Now, I am not here really to talk to you about the impact of the pandemic on the workplace. Instead, I want to talk about how do we continue to support our employees in the midst? How do we continue to support employees in the midst? How do we keep employees engaged? How do we let them know that they are important to the business and they do add value? How do we let them know that they are appreciated? That's what we're going to talk about today. And I truly believe that now, more than ever before, there is some attention and discussion that needs to be placed on showing gratitude and appreciation. Gratitude and appreciation. But I guess the question is, what does gratitude and appreciation really look like in a socially distanced world? How do we attempt to connect with one another or stay connected to one another when we're so disconnected? Also, what tools and resources can employees use to assist them during these interesting times? Now, I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of hearing our new normal. So I have just resorted to saying in our current state. Okay? So how do we do that? My goal over the next few minutes that I have with you is to really share two focuses. I want to focus on an employer focus to just let the employers know that there is a tool or a resource that you can use, that your managers and supervisors can use to help show appreciation to your employees by speaking their appreciation language. The second focus I would like to share with you is more so for the employee. What tool or resource that I'll share today? Well, the tool or resource that I'll share today will pretty much be how to slow down, reflect, and fortify yourself in this current situation so we can be more proactive than reactive when it comes to life's happening. Because as we know and as we are experiencing, life is happening. Okay? Now, if you are familiar with the original book by Gary Chapman and the 5 Languages of Love, we learned that people simply communicate differently. People communicate differently, and it's all according to their love language. Now, Gary Chapman's book, it was originally designed, and the audience was more toward love and marriage. And really, it was interesting because in the book, Gary Chapman compared speaking the proper love language to having a love tank being on full. When you're not speaking that language, guess what? That tank goes on empty. And we know, I don't know about you, but definitely in those days when I was back in college, driving around with that tank on E. It wasn't functioning right. I wasn't functioning right. And I kept saying, if I can just make it to the station. Okay? So we know what it's like to operate from a low place. So we want to make sure that when we are able to identify and then start speaking the correct language of the employees, there's a level of appreciation that's shown and productivity will go up. But I'll get to that in just a few minutes. I'm sure you're asking, well, Yolanda, what are the 5 languages? Now, please understand that Gary Chapman, what he did, he shifted his work from love and marriage to appreciation in the workplace, but he still used these 5 languages as the foundation. What are they? I'm so glad you asked. The first one is words of affirmation. The second is quality time. The third is acts of service. The fourth is gifts. And the fifth is touch. Now, again, as I mentioned, from that work, it shifted more towards appreciation of the workplace. And it's really according to personality traits or that person's personality that they are able to express or the love language they like to have spoken to them. Now, you have to understand that every employee is different. Every employee is different, and you don't want to treat everyone or every employee as if their language is acts of service. That's where someone's appreciation tank is going to go on empty, and we don't want that. Alrighty? Now, here's some quick, interesting facts. Did you know that more than 80% of employees say they're motivated and work harder when their bosses show appreciation for their work? 80%. 80%. 70% of employees say they receive no praise or recognition at work. That's 70%. And in a survey done with over 35,000 employees, the number one reason why they enjoyed their work was just as simple as, I feel genuinely appreciated at work. Genuinely appreciated at work. Now, I know, like for my company, we have been at home since March. I don't know when the last time you've done it, but I would definitely encourage you to, well, let me ask you this. When was the last time you checked the pulse of your employees? When was the last time you truly set aside time to just ask, hey, how are you doing? And based on the love language of your employee, be careful that it might not be a group setting. Someone might speak a language that you might want to just make a call or set aside some one-on-one time to have that Zoom call. Okay? So it's very important to learn that. Don't forget about your employees. Again, we're all trying to figure this out, and we're all making adjustments as we go. Now, I know you're probably wondering, Yolanda, why is this important? And I like to answer this question with two words: productivity and morale. Productivity and morale. When you think about it, we all thrive in an atmosphere of appreciation. Appreciation equals engagement, and we know there's numerous studies that will tell you that engaged employees are productive employees. It's all connected. It's all connected. Feeling valued and appreciated turns, the next thing after being valued and appreciated is what? Higher job satisfaction. Now you have higher job satisfaction, and you have better staff retention, commitment, and customer satisfaction. So again, productivity and morale. When was the last time you checked the pulse of your employees? Now, let's talk about how these languages can translate to the workplace. And let's start with the first one, words of affirmation. What does this look like? Yolanda, we are in a socially distanced world right now. Everybody's on Zoom and team meetings. How can I show appreciation? How can I appreciate my employees and speak a language in a way that it is receptive and it is correct? Well, with words of affirmation, this is when you are usually just using words, spoken or written. You can praise accomplishments by praising accomplishments, okay? How about affirming someone's character? Words of affirmation. Let them hear it or read that you appreciate them. How long does that email take? Not long at all. The next one, quality time. And this is just focused attention. I know some of us are some of us are at home, while some of us are still in the office, returning safely. So the next time someone might come to your office, instead of still typing an email while they're talking, or you have your phone in your hand, how about give them eye contact? Just look them, give them that undivided attention to let them know that you're listening. What about shared experiences? For some situations, you might not know all of the kids' name, but if you know that person have a love for their fur baby, do you know the fur baby's name? That is how you can give focused attention. And simply stopping by and just asking, how are things going? Nice and easy. What about an email that says, hey, just checking in on you today. How are things going? Okay? Acts of service. Acts of service is easy. And again, in our socially distanced world, it's just simply providing assistance. Hey, how can I help you? Is there anything I can support you with? With any project you have going on, do you need me? Alrighty? Just simple providing assistance. When it comes to gifts, we're talking about tangible gifts. Tickets to a local event. I know, not right now. Okay, I know that. Okay, it might be a virtual event. It might be something they enjoy. Again, I mentioned the fur babies. Okay, a tangible gift. Oh, get a gift for the fur baby. You just never know. Alrighty? But it must be something that person values. It has to be something that the person values. And then the last is touch. Again, I understand we are in a socially distanced environment. This is our world, our current state right now. But guess what? You can send an email with a high five. Let them know that they are appreciated. Again, face to face, we've been doing it today. What about a quick elbow bump? Hey, I saw that email. I saw that report. I saw that. Small things like that, small gestures. Again, if you are speaking their language, that might not mean something to someone that's touch isn't my thing. Stay away from me. But a quick email is interesting. Let me share a quick story with you. I took a training some years ago, and it was Disney customer service training. And if you understand, if you know, they have one of the best training onboarding ever. Alrighty. And there was a lady that she told the story. She said that they brought her on stage in front of over 200, 300, 400 people, and they gave her an award, and she was livid. She was so upset, and they could not understand why would she be so upset at receiving this award. Well, when they got back a couple of days later and they began to talk to her, they found out that she doesn't like public recognition. She opened up her cabinet and she showed them where there was someone in her office who knew her love language, and they would put little post-it notes and tell her, thank you, great job, you did awesome today, and she kept those in a cabinet. So we have to understand and learn our employees' love language. When you think about this, I'm sure you're asking, how can we create a culture of appreciation? And now I would like to share with you 5 things how you can create a culture of appreciation. The first is, I've already said a few times, is to recognize that everyone does not feel appreciated the same way. They just don't. Alrighty? The second thing is identify each person's love language of appreciation. Excuse me, not love language, language of appreciation. Okay? And if you like, of course, you can go online. There are free assessments that you can check out. Not only the love language. I know some of you all at home with your spouses now. And if you have not ever taken the love language test, it'll be a fun little activity to have over some wine. Okay. But appreciation in the workplace, there are also quick free tests out there you can take. But if you want to go to the official website, that is appreciationatwork.com. Appreciationatwork.com. And again, if you all have any questions, any feedback for me, please, they're going to bring some questions over. If you have questions, please don't hesitate. And I hope you're being engaged and you're enjoying this. Okay. Now, the third thing is understand that people want to be valued by their supervisors and colleagues. People want to be valued by their supervisors and colleagues. Also, I talked about this earlier as well, but we have to communicate authentic appreciation. We know when it's fake. We know when it's off kilter. We know when it's like, okay, where'd that come from? Alrighty? So make sure it's authentic. And lastly, how about including the language of appreciation in your leadership development? How about including language of appreciation in your leadership development? It flows from the top down. It flows from the top down. Now, here's some things I would like for you to consider. On a scale from 1 to 10, how appreciated do you feel by your immediate supervisor? Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how appreciated do you feel? Next, when you feel discouraged at work, what actions by others help you or help encourage you? Think about that. Alrighty? And then lastly, let's go the other way. When you want to communicate appreciation to your colleagues, what do you usually do? You get everybody a coffee cup, but 2 or 3 of them don't even drink coffee, but they would rather just lunch. Again, I understand where we are now. Just stay with me. Okay? So understand their love language. And again, you can go to the official website at appreciation.com to learn more. Ready? Now, let's turn our attention and focus on the employees and their mental health. Now, this resource is amazing, and I often have had to refer to this several times in my own life because we know one thing for sure, life is going to happen. And it's usually during times of transition that we experience the greatest need and opportunity to create clarity and purpose for our lives. Now, everyone will go through these phases. Everyone will go through these phases at one point or time in their lives. These phases are a plateau, triggering event, a limbo, taking stock, and taking charge. Now, let me explain each one of those. When you think about our lives, there was a point in time in our lives where we all had hit a plateau. If you think about it in the weight loss fitness industry, they'll say, oh, I hit a plateau, which means I'm not gaining weight or losing weight and I'm still putting forth the same effort. Nothing good or bad. We're just here. So we can be in a plateau in our lives. Because if you think about it, we wake up, we go about our day, and we do what we need to do, and then you look up and someone says, oh my goodness, it's Friday. Nothing good or bad is happening. We're just kind of going through the days rather. Okay, so that's a plateau. So we all can pinpoint times in our lives where we were at a plateau. Alrighty? The next up is a triggering event. A triggering event is a wake-up call or something that knocks you off of your plateau. Alrighty? Now, keep in mind, a trigger event, because even the word itself, you automatically think trigger, negative. But a trigger can be positive or negative. Example, there's a new baby, but someone passed away. Marriage or divorce. You get a new job or you lose a job. All these are examples of trigger events, so just understand that yes, the word trigger might trigger, but it can still be positive or negative. Alrighty? Now, when you look at a trigger event, from there we go to the limbo phase. And the limbo phase is more of the transitional phase that you have. This is where you begin to feel some anxiety and stress and frustration because you really don't know what happened. You really don't know what happened. And during this time, you're asking yourself, not only what happened, but what's going to happen as a result of this. Now, when you move from the limbo phase to the taking stock phase, this is where the self-reflection takes part. This is for those employees when life is happening. This is where you literally slow down. You begin asking yourself questions, and you also begin to answer. I don't know about you, but I've had some of the best conversations with me and myself, and even sometimes okay? So this is where we begin to just slow down and we ask questions about, okay, what happened? I was in a really good mood on Monday, but something happened on Tuesday. Oh, wait a minute, I did do this. So you begin to just process what has happened so you can begin to identify, oh, that's what it was. Now I know. I took a phone call from so-and-so and they gave me that news. So now that you're able to identify the trigger through this process or this stage or this phase, now you can begin to take charge with that information that you've received. And I don't want to get into the emotional intelligence because that's a whole nother thing, okay? Not to get into emotional intelligence, but this is a way for us to say, literally, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? How do I respond? How do I react? Sometimes that's not a matter of reacting at all. Sometimes it might be a matter of just simply being quiet. Okay? Simply being quiet. Okay? And then the last phase I talked about was the taking charge phase. The taking charge phase, I like to refer to this phase as my Nike phase. Just do it. Talk time is over. We have processed. We have asked all the questions. We have answered all the questions. Now, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? So I'd like to share this part of, it's actually a 1-hour purpose workshop, lunch and learn, that we facilitate with Blue Zones Project. This is only a snippet of that. And if you are ever interested in taking part of a purpose workshop or hosting one for your employees, we are doing them now on the Zoom platform. And the next one that will be held is going to be on December the 16th at noon. You can go to our Blue Zones Facebook page and feel free to register. It's free, and we can send you the materials. But this is just a resource I wanted to give to individuals to help us slow down and maneuver in this pandemic. We all are being impacted. We all are being having to shift and make different decisions. What does this look like for my family? What does this look like for me? What does it look like for my job? What does this look like for my finances? We're all asking some of those similar questions. But with this resource of going through those 5 phases, again, it allows you to slow down and process, create a plan on how you can be more proactive than reactive. Okay? So if there are any questions, I would love to. Yes, we do have a question. Awesome. Post those questions for me, and I will also have my email address up if you all have any additional questions. Excuse me. It said, should team members publicly show appreciation for their boss? Does this enhance the team culture, or can that backfire? I would say with this, as long as it's authentic. Now, we know in the workplace, if you're just trying to butter up because there's an opportunity for a promotion or something like that, alrighty? If you are being authentic and you are being genuine, there is nothing wrong with showing your boss appreciation. It can go from the top down, and it also can go from the employer up. So with that being said, yes, make sure it's genuine and authentic. And with that being said, I appreciate the Fort Worth Chamber for allowing me to come today and share this information. I hope it was helpful for you on how to show appreciation in the workplace, and also a tool and resource for employees. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.